So, it seems that today, this is Blake Cushing, your King of Kings, speaking with you today. That's Friday, middle of September 2025. And what I'm here today to talk to you about are idols. Now, we have a group of fake Jews calling themselves Zionists, and they're hangers on and groupies all around the world. And these folks have been sold some kind of fantastic dream that insults the God they're seeking inheritance from, but it also insults the family of man and the laws of God. And this state of Israel has no right to exist whatsoever, other than the right bestowed by the drunken and very, very challenging British Crown, which I do not think is in a position today to defend much against us. So, and they claim there's a God-given right. Well, if you read, it's not even the fine print, it's screamed at them. I haven't bothered to count how many times, but the message is failure to obey even one of these 10 principles will render you drunk with, with no wine and destroyed in the land. These are not suggestions if you want to be God's people. Now, a whole bunch of years ago, in Jacob's time, he's pretty early on, about 4,000 years ago. Anyway, Jacob had a bunch of sons, 12 in fact. And to the best of my recollection, the two eldest ones, I wouldn't bet on that, but this is my hunch. The two eldest ones got together and were very covetous of their neighbor's stuff. They had a lot of goats and cattle and gold and shit. And they had one sister, a little girl named Dina, and she fell in love with some guy that was not of the Jewish group of tribes. At the time, they called themselves tribes, like North American Indian tribe. It's an indigenous kind of thing. Anyway, two of Dina's brothers decided to rob their neighbor and used Dina's love with, a, say, a foreign tribe boy. The boy did not seduce Dina. Dina did not complain about the boy. Dina wanted the boy as much as the boy wanted her. And in fact, the boy wanted Dina so much that he convinced all the members of his tribe to cut the tops of their dicks off. To be like these guys here so I can marry this little girl here. And so the men corralled him and said, are you sure about this bitch, kid? Like, this is a lot to ask. He said, I'm sure I love her to death. And, I'll do anything. I'll cut off mine right now. I said, okay, now. We'll make a bit of a ceremony out of it, like a wedding ceremony, not only of you to Dina, but for us, for the rest of her tribe. We're joining tribes with them. I got your death. Okay. So they got together one day and they sliced their foreskins off. And so that day they let them rest in comfort. And the second day, when the pain is really screaming, Nina's brother slaughtered, took their stuff, and left a thank you note. To it, their father, Jacob, who was to become Israel, to it, their father said to them, you stupid fucking morons. What have you done? This is gonna fuck our tribe with all the other tribes for generations and generations to come, you fucking delirious with them. And nothing more was said, but the rumor You can't trust the Jews persistently. This is where anti-Semitism began in the Jews themselves. Now, Armenian Jews know and understand this and are humble about it and apologetic to God about it and embarrassed by the hilarity of their distant cousins, the Zionists. There is a blood relationship there, but there's no philosophical relationship, there's no spiritual relationship, there's no religious relationship, nothing other than blood. And blood is almost stronger than God, but not quite. We now have our real Jews speaking out and proclaiming exactly what I'm telling you now, that these Zionists hate God. They hate the Ten Commandments. They do not honor any of them. They giggle at them and consider them passe, yet they still want the inheritance that was promised as a consequence of fidelity to the covenant, nothing else. So the inhabitants of Palestine today, calling themselves Israel, are murdering, resentful, birthed in treason, violence, and destruction. Born in ugliness of an unnatural character, and has carried forth these beginning principles. So today, the Zionists are running amok. They're not only drunk with the wine, but they're insane. And what's promoting this insanity is their relationship with Donald Trump. You see, they married into his family, and so they've got Donald Trump by the ball, literally by the ball. There's nothing he can do to wiggle out of this. So he has to cave and support them no matter what crime they commit. But this is not Donald Trump's world, nor is it Benjamin Nastigator's world. This is my world, our world. Our God is wiggling among us now, so are many, many saints taking up brand new bodies. I recognize some of them. Some of them are a little too subtle for me as of yet. We're promised 144,000 of them, and they're showing up all over the place. It's a delightful surprise. So you need to understand this world does not belong to the Democratic Party of the United States or the CIA or MI6, 5, or 7, or 10. It doesn't matter. Or the Mossad. These are the sneaky perverts from your childhood. Couldn't fit anywhere else, they decide to become sneaks. That's what a spy is. And they got so good at being sneaky, they decided to make not only careers, but whole industries of it. They intrude the privacy of your home, your online work, as if they have some right to fornicate with the property of other people all over the world. This is the Mossad and the CIA for you. There's no limit to these fuckers. None. And whenever, historically speaking, whenever conduct of this nature has reared its rather ugly head, it has law, and it's long predicted to lose today. So you need to make a decision, Katie. Whose side do you want to be on? God's side, the side of righteousness and truth, honesty, honor, of all those laughable things that the nouveau riche scoff at, with their fiat money, their candy floss wealth, as would have vanished in a heartbeat. The truth will no longer remain hidden about anything. This is the promise life, and it's about conditions of consciousness, not about geographic coordinates. Never was. The Bible's maybe 5 or 10% fact, 85% metaphysical law, metaphysical poetry, basically. Human beings are born with an innate propensity to worship greater than self. They're also born with an inbuilt urge to join groups, to form society. And these are things God imbued your mother with. And she gave you, in the guise of a hymn, she gave you 10 commandments. That if you obeyed these commandments, as a person, as a society, as a country, as a planet, you will succeed in all you do. If you fail to not just listen to, but worship these 10 commandments, take them into your heart and practice them with every breath, there's no limit to the possibilities you have as a divine and human being. Some people choose for their mud alone. That's all I want. I just want to be rich, famous, and fat. Then I don't have to think. I don't have to wait on anything. I want to be an Anima, the servants. No. Well, that's not my idea of success, or God's idea of success either. I go through 12 families, robbing their children of the realities of life in favor of some grotesque fairy tale. We'll deal with them later. This is just a quick notice. Point out that this is not Donald Trump's world. He's not the greatest closer. He's not the greatest salesman there, unfortunately. And Elon Musk is not the richest man as well. So, I am really fine sometimes. I can just plug into your own salvation as a conscious choice. And the first thing you need to do is give up lying about it. And for lying and like a horrible. Telling you about everyone. But you need to be rigorous about it. You'll find your own sea legs with it as you practice. But there's no free gift. There's not going to be any lightning bolt happening down, spread praise all over this planet. Each individual needs to work for their own grace of God. And the fact is, God is living inside you, plus the stink, the fart, and the snot has the blood in you. It has been for all these 6,000 years, more than that. See, I didn't learn that every time my thoughts. So, you have a king out there, born in love, eternal love, located in heaven. Haven't never been with your kings saying, Happy Friday. So, our Sabbath begins tonight at 6:30. Hugs. Like